All right, Nick, let's talk about the Los Angeles Rams. Big moves being made by the Rams this offseason. A lot of things they got to figure out. Do they go ahead and rework Stafford's deal? Can they come to a conclusion? What's going on with Cooper Kupp? I think there's a lot of things here, but Stafford, I think that's the key. Can they come to a conclusion on that? And we have a really solid update here by probably one of the most reputable sources in the league about what could happen if the Rams can't get something done with Stafford. I think is a very interesting report. But before we get into that, I'm Andrew, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, Nick, as I alluded to, some news on the Matt Stafford Los Angeles Rams situation. Let's hop on into it and we can talk more about it on the other side. This is from Athlon Sports and says Aaron Rodgers, 41, is now free to sign wherever he pleases. But according to ESPN's NFL insider Adam Schefter, one of the best sources on the block, one location could be the most attractive for the all-time great QB. He says they've been trying to see if they can work out a new contract, and if they can, Matthew Stafford will remain in Los Angeles. He'll remain a Ram. It's up to those two sides to figure out a number the Rams can live with and Matthew Stafford is comfortable with, Schefter said in a recent report. He then goes on to say, that's a goal, I think, both sides. But that could change very quickly, Schefter continued. If the Rams couldn't get a deal done with Stafford, if they decide to trade him, Aaron Rodgers, in my mind, would be thrilled with the idea of going to Los Angeles. I think this is really intriguing. Maybe a little bit of leverage on the Rams side with this news getting out there. Curious what your thoughts are on this one, Nick. But before we get to you, Rams fans, in comment section below, let us know your thoughts on the quarterback position. I know Rodgers a little bit controversial at times, but veteran guy could lead, do really well in this Sean McVay style of system. A guy that definitely could pick it up. He's talented enough to be able to do it. Let us know if Stafford moves on, if they have to trade him. Are you okay with Aaron Rodgers coming in to take the helm of this team? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. But nonetheless, Nick, what do you think about this latest update about the Rams?
So there are so many layers here and so many different avenues and so many different angles and so many different strategies we're seeing from Les Snead, McVay, and the Rams. And this is just par for the course. One of the reasons we like talking about the Rams probably more than any other channel that covers basically league-wide stuff is they do a lot of really smart, unique things. That makes them interesting to talk about. And hear what they're doing with the quarterback position falls perfectly into this because you talked about leverage. That's one element of it, right? Adam Schefter is a great reporter. He's been in this game a very long time, but he gets a lot of his insights, a lot of his sources from the actual teams themselves. They'll slip him a report and say, we want you to say this because it helps us. And in return, we'll leak you a third round pick we like later, right? That's a give and take that happens with Schefter and other top reporters as well. That's how the world works. That's how the system works. This to me sounds like a report that the Rams are trying to get Matthew Stafford in a good negotiating position, saying, listen, if you don't want to play ball and take a team friendly deal, we'll just let you go. We'll trade you away, get some draft picks, and sign Aaron Rodgers, a veteran quarterback at the end of his career, kind of like you are. And look, I don't think they want to do that. I think they like the fit in Stafford. And I think Stafford, based on all reports, say this too, that he likes being in Los Angeles. But the reality is he is replaceable because everyone is replaceable. Unless you have an Aaron Donald, like an all-time great, everyone it can be switched to improve your roster, can be traded, can be cut. You have to have that mindset. Bill Belichick had that mindset famously. Sean McVay, Les Snead, they're under that same kind of framework. That's how they've operated. Remember, they traded away all their draft picks for all the veterans, and then they jettisoned all those veterans for draft picks and started drafting a lot of guys. Remember, they had Todd Gurley, who was the face of the franchise. See ya when your deal is no longer helping the team out and your performance has dipped. We're seeing that with Cooper Kupp, the best wide receiver since Torrey Holt for the Rams. I mean, depending if you're a Holt or Isaac Bruce guy, but the best guy for the Rams in what, a decade and a half. They're looking to ship him this offseason, right? He won Offensive Player of the Year, I think, a few years ago. But that's how Les Snead and that's how Sean McVay operate. They're always looking to improve this team. They're always looking to play every single angle. And I think they want to keep Stafford. All reports indicate that they likely are. But if Stafford is able to be traded for a bunch of assets and they're able to get Rodgers to come into town, why not if you're the Rams? If you're able to flip Stafford, let's say for 2 first-round picks, that'd be a reach. But let's say some team was willing to give that to you, and then you were able to sign Aaron Rodgers. You take Aaron Rodgers for a year or two with 2 number ones. Yeah, absolutely. I think anyone would. And look, Matthew Stafford knows that too. So he's thinking maybe I should take a team friendly deal, lower the cap hit, and then suddenly the Rams get to upgrade their roster and spend even more aggressively in free agency. This is all part of the strategy. This is all part of the game. And the Rams play it better than anyone.
Yeah, Nick, I think you hit the nail on the head here as far as I really like how the Rams attack every situation the way that they do. And like I said, this is why we love to talk about them. You know, the biggest thing on the table right now is the number of guaranteed money that they'll probably renegotiate. I think Stafford's cap hit is like north of 30 something million, like 35, 38 million
49
dollars,
and a half, actually. It's pretty big.
$49 million, excuse me. So
Currently. I mean, it's going to change, but that's what it is right now.
they're trying to come together somewhere in the middle as far as the guaranteed money for Stafford. Obviously, they'll probably maybe negotiate the overall cap hit down, give him more. He has no guaranteed money right now, if I remember correctly, but they're gonna have to come in between and figure something out. So I think the fact that they come out here and say, well, Aaron Rodgers is a pretty interesting option. He's available. I think he would be interested in us. We're interested in him. Anything they can do to try to work that number down. I feel like right now there's probably a sticking point between them and Stafford's camp about the guaranteed money, and they're trying to shave off every dollar they can because this is a team that wants to be a contender. And whether you like it or not, when you're at this stage, it's a business and you got to work things down. You got to be able to move off assets if they're not valuable to you, but you got to be able to give yourself the edge. Get those extra dollars in there. You got a lot of young guys on this team. You're going to have to pay eventually. Just you got to save all the money where you can. You're going to have free agent opportunity that maybe pops up, have a couple extra dollars laying around, be able to go get a great player to make this team even better next year. So I love what the Rams are doing here. Like you said, I think they want to stick with Stafford. I think Stafford wants to stick with them, but the Rams have shown that they are the franchise where if the dollars don't make sense and the deal they get for Stafford does, they will move off of him and they have a backup plan as well. So really smart moves by the Rams here. I think they got this whole thing laid out. So if I'm a Rams fan, I don't feel too worried because no matter what happens, I think they have a strong plan for what they're going to have as a quarterback, the leader of this team.